the first thing that comes to mind for me is BS Mirage. It's like a mirage of BS. Like a little bit on a little bit is just nothing. And, so, okay, uh, eggs, meat, gas has gone up, 50%, 60%, all these crazy numbers, but they're going to give you a 3 or 4% increase on your $2,000 a month Social Security. Uh, yeah, whatever. So the best one we had was during COVID. I think cola came out at like 9%. Because we had rampant, just out of control inflation, and inflation's come down quite a bit since then. It's a little bit tamer, but it's starting to peak up again because of the war and the oil issues and embargoes that we have. So the flow of oil, unfortunately, can regularly have a big thing to do with where our prices are headed. Unfortunately, because we still are so dependent on fossil fuel for whatever reason. Well, we know the reason, but we won't get into that. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother show. But yeah, no, it's yeah.
We did a segment on the government earlier in the show.
yeah, it's turning into a political government show almost. I guess. Well, we're on Fox, so what the heck, But but no, I mean, I guess every little bit helps, but it's never going to be enough to keep up with inflation. Especially here locally in Florida, it's crazy with the influx and the demand. Housing has gone up, property taxes have gone up, insurance on your property has gone up. The price at the pumps, with all the taxes that Florida takes, on gasoline. So it's tough, man. It's really tough. And one of the things that I think people may miss or fall short on is when they're doing their retirement planning, if they're not working with a professional, we show them exactly how inflation can impact them over the years. So that's a big part of our planning, is factoring in the inflation numbers. And we can show you, what does 4% inflation look like, 6%, 7%. The rising cost of healthcare is a huge concern. We haven't even got into it on this show, probably for next week's show, but tune in, because those of you who are getting close to Medicare or in Medicare, watch out for some major increases coming there. Lots changed. The laws changed in 2026 and took away a credit. So, rising healthcare costs, rising taxes, rising inflation. Like, I can't stress it enough. Without the proper planning, people will sit down because they don't want to, work with an advisor, or they don't have time, or they don't trust, or whatever it may be. I don't understand why it is. I've told people even on this show that I'm an investment advisor and been doing retirement planning for 30 years. When I retire, if I retire, I'm not doing my own planning and I'm not managing my own money. So, and that's the last thing I want to do. But people sit down like on these like elementary retirement calculators on the computer or inside your 401k software. They'll have off to the side, like, calculate your retirement dollars. And you click on there and you put in a couple of numbers, and it's like, oh, wow, that looks great, I can retire. But it didn't factor in all of these major headwinds. It doesn't take into account, like when we build out a retirement plan, we put in like hundreds of variables into our software. So, it's like we're really going the extra mile to be very, very detail orientated, because I want to wrap a bubble around you in your retirement. I want to look at every single little risk that could potentially pop up. And, just doing that little basic retirement calculator on the internet's not going to get it done. Punch in your estimated dollar. Oh, yeah, $500,000. And okay, what's your return? They punch in 6. And they're like, how much will you need to live on? Oh, I need 30,000. They pop in, it pulls out a little chart and says, oh, you'll be fine. It didn't factor in the crazy rise in inflation. Doesn't factor in COVID. Doesn't factor in wars with Iran. All these black swan events that just send things in a tizzy and through the roof. So, didn't factor in, the entire country wanting to move to the state of Florida and doubling our real estate values, and didn't factor in 5 hurricanes, just blowing us up in our insurance. doesn't factor in the fact that we have a bunch of retirees here in Florida, and all they do is bounce into people and run people over and cause accidents. We have the worst roads in the country, so our car insurance is always going up. So, all these things that I see that worry me and keep me up at night. And it's not even my money; it's my clients' money. So it's like, I care about you guys. So please, like, get in here and see us, and let's do some really, really in-depth, proper planning, looking at all the different variables, not just some, retirement calculator you pull up on an internet.
Yeah, you're so right too. I mean, for us who live in the Tampa area, our radio listeners on the radio side listening in the Tampa region, they know just as well as anybody that car insurance bill, it could be this one month, this figure, but then the next month or the month after that, it could be going up about, I don't know, $20 to $40. And that really, when you're living around the margins, you're planning for retirement, talking to retirees now, that matters a lot. Those,
Sure.
and that's, again, the computer does not calculate.